Hello, MOVATI, and welcome. My name is Sue. This is Hatha Yoga, and I'm so happy to bring this practice to you today. We're going to focus on hips today. So if you have blocks or pillows, please bring them to your mat so that we can use them to support us in the pose today. So let's get started, shall we? Let's have a seat. Come into a seated position. Find your sit bones, sit nice and tall. If you want to use a block to sit up on, get your knees higher, your hips higher than the knees, feel free to do that. So today we're going to focus on hips, and we carry a lot of stuff in our hips, not just physically, but also emotional stuff, like fear and anxiety. And so when we go through our practice today, we're not just going to open up our hips physically, but we're going to see what we can let go of emotionally and even mentally. As we practice today, try to listen to your body. If you've got any issues, any injuries or things to deal with, please do so. Practice ahimsa, which is nonviolence to yourself. And if you're in a position today and you have any sharp pain in any of your joints, I'd like you to just move off the position and find a space that feels good for you today. Know that every time we come to the mat, you'll experience something a little different, so try not to have any expectations. So let's come into a cross-legged position, sit nice and tall, find your sit bones, sit nice and lengthen that spine. Let's just close the eyes and be aware of your breath. Don't change it, just be aware of it. Notice your surroundings. Notice the temperature in the room. Notice the energy that surrounds you. I'd like to set an intention today to feel grounded. And we'll talk about that during our practice today. Let's start to bring our awareness inwards and notice how our physical body feels today. Notice any little aches and pains, stiffness or soreness, or if the body feels really loose and limber. Notice your heart center and Hatha chakra. How do you feel? What is your mood? Bring awareness to your mind. Is it present, here and now? Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose so that it travel down in front of the spine and fill the belly, letting the belly rise with breath. As we exhale, belly comes down, breath travels back up in front of the spine and back out to the nose. Nice, deep abdominal breath. And as we start to bring the breath deeper into the belly, starting to open up the mind, sending a message to let it relax. So we're moving out of the sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system, which moves us from that fight or flight response to calmness, peace, relaxation. So that deep belly breathing encourages that calmness, allows us to let go, relieve any stress that we may have in our muscles. The deeper we start to breathe and allow, the more we can let go of. Through our face, our jaw, our shoulders, fingers and toes. Let's start to expand the breath. Let the out breath be twice as long as the in breath. And every time we exhale, see what you can let go of. Nice long exhalations, sending peace throughout the body. Our bodies habitually want to hold on, so through our breath, we can let go. Let's do 3 more deep belly breaths, focusing on the exhale. And starting to feel ourselves grounding to earth energy. Perhaps pull up your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Think of the 2 sit bones, pubic bone and tailbone, that triangle. And the center of that is your mula, right? Your Mula Bandha. pranayama muscle. And as we lift it, we start to engage our earth energy. Let's flutter the eyes open and start working through the neck. Let's look to the right side. Inhale. And as we exhale, let the head drop down and roll to the left. Again, breathe in. And as we breathe out, let the chin drop down and roll to the right. Just working in through the neck now. Breathe in, those scaling muscles. Exhale, over to the left. They tend to get a little stiff. Carry a lot of tension there. Breathe in. And exhale, over to the right. Back to center. Let's take our left hand to the right side. Spread your fingers. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, a gentle press of the fingertips, opening up the right side. So the left ear comes towards left shoulder. Now this is just an encouragement. We're not forcing anything here. A gentle pressure to encourage that nice stretch. Inhale. And as we exhale, let's drop the chin down towards the chest. Now move the hand towards the back of the head. Get that stretch on the diagonal of the neck. And release. Let's bring your right hand to the left side. Spread your fingers. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, just coming over to the right side. Feeling that beautiful stretch. And perhaps let the left shoulder drop down a little bit here so there's no tension there. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, chin drops down, still keeping right ear towards the right shoulder. Hand moves towards the back of the head. A gentle press here. Let's come back to center, both hands behind the head. Inhale. As we exhale, drop the chin down, lengthen the back of the neck here. Just tipping at the occipital joint, opening things up. And release the head. Let's bring our feet together. Buddha Konasana. Hands to the feet. And let's let the knees gently flutter up and down, opening up the hips here. And as we breathe into our belly, just the gentle encouragement here to start to let things go. All of the fascia that starts to tighten here, starting to release and let it lubricate in those hips. So we hold on to things. Our body habitually wants to. Especially emotional things like anxiety, stress, fear. A lot of it ends up in our hips. So we're going to see if we can get rid of some of that today. Let's bring our hands behind the hips. Keep your feet together. Inhale, I want you to squeeze the butt, lift the hips, and look up. Opening the front line of the body, your wrists are right under the shoulders. Squeeze your butt, lift your pelvic floor. And slowly let the hips drop down. Let's bring your right foot out, left foot comes in. Flex your foot, working in through the hamstrings now. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and fold, head to knee pose. Janu Sirsasana. And I don't want you to force anything here. I don't want you to push yourself to be anywhere. I just want you to come to your natural edge, whatever that may be, and just breathe and allow. And as we stay in the pose, as we breathe, perhaps we find new edges. Perhaps things let go a little bit. Nice deep belly breaths here. Think about breathing belly, ribs, lower back. Nice three-dimensional breath. Inhale and rise. Let's take your peace fingers around the big toe, bend the elbow. And take your left hand, reach up and over, revolve. So just looking through the armpit here, think of the lower rib cage coming around. Breathe. See if we can breathe into the left side of the ribs here. See what we can let go of. Inhale and rise. Place your left hand beside your hip. Right hand reaches up. Push the hips forward. Your wrist is right under the shoulder. Top arm is nice and loose. Half circle here. Breathing into the right side of the rib cage now. Slowly let the hips come down. Let's switch to the other side. Let's let the left leg extend, right leg comes in. Keep your foot flexed. Find those sit bones. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Again, finding your natural edge. Seeing what the body will let go of here today. Nice deep belly breaths. Inhale and rise. You can grab your ankle or put your peace fingers around the big toe. Let the elbow soften. Inhale, let that right hand rise. Reach up and over and revolve. Look through the armpit. Breathing into the right side of the rib cage, into those intercostal muscles. Those beautiful muscles that surround the ribs. Helps us expand and contract the rib cage. Inhale and rise. Place your right hand down, left hand comes up, push the hips forward. Half circle. Wrist is right underneath the shoulder. Opening the ribs, opening the heart. And slowly let the hips come down. Beautiful. Let's come up onto the hands and knees. Let the knees come wide. We're going to go into wide leg child's pose with a twist. Let's take your left hand forward, let the shoulder drop down, head comes down. The right hand can relax beside the head, or it can wrap behind the back. Your hips can be high or low here, it doesn't matter. And this is just a beautiful spinal twist, opening hips. Let's settle with the breath into the nose and down into the belly, ribs, lower back. Breathe and allow. I love this pose as there's lots going on. Trying to work the hips, spinal twist, realigning spine, and if the hand is behind the back, still opening up the shoulder blade. The hands behind the back, place it on the mat, push yourself up, and let's switch to the other side. Keep your knees wide and reaching through to the opposite side. Head can relax down, arm can stay beside your head or wrap behind your back, your choice. Breathe and allow. Seeing what may let go through the hips. Soften the face, the jaw, fingers and toes. Let your hand come back down to the mat, come up onto your hands and knees, and we'll just start to mobilize the spine with cat and cow. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Spread your fingers. Let the belly drop down, lift the tailbone, look up. Nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, let's round that back. Lift your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Belly pulls in towards the spine. Chin tucks into the chest for that chin lock. And then release, belly drops down, nice breath in. And exhale, round the back, lift your pelvic floor, draw the belly in, tuck your chin in. 3 bandhas, locks, Mahabandha. Harness the energy along the spine, release, let the energy flush down the spine, open up any little blockages that you may have, and allows your energy to flow. Round, one more. And come back to your neutral spine. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, let your right hip come out. Look towards your right hip, so head and hip come towards each other. Back to center, breathe in. As we breathe out, the left hip comes out. Look towards your hip. Just working the spine laterally here. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. 2 more. Breathe in. Exhale. Back to center. Inhale. And exhale. And back to center. Let's tuck the toes under. Lift the hips high. And let's just walk the dog. One heel drops, then the other. Draw the belly in. Eye gaze back between your legs. And just really lengthening out the back of the legs here. One heel, then the opposite, coming towards the earth. Push some weight into the hands so you're activating those arms. And let's let both heels draw downwards. Downward facing dog. Lift the belly. And let's walk your feet towards your hands. Feet are hip distance apart, little folds here. And gently roll yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time, letting your head come up last. Beautiful. Let's sit into your heels. Hands reach up and sit back into the heels, toes together, knees together. Shoulders draw down the back. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale. And as we exhale, let's twist over to the left side. If you want more, let the hips sink deeper. Elbow comes across, palms together, stack the elbows. Anjali Mudra, look over left shoulder. Now as we twist, you may feel a little confinement. Try to relax and find some space to breathe into here. Inhale and rise. I'd like you to keep the right hand now to the left hip. Left hand reaches behind. You can lift your left heel, toes touch down. And if you want more, you can lift your leg and find the outside of the leg. Get a bit of balance in your twist. Let that foot come down. Come back to center, inhale and rise. Exhale, sit into your heels. Utkatasana, breathe in. As we breathe out, let's come over to the right side. If you want more, sink a little deeper, elbow comes across, palms together in prayer. You can have hands together or open up, your choice. Breathe here and allow. Inhale and rise. Let's let that right hand reach behind, left hand to right hip. You can lift your right heel. If you want more, lift up the leg and let the hand come to the outside of the leg. Keep your focus here to find your stillness. Stay with your breath. And slowly let that leg come down. Let's come to the top of your mats. We're going to go right into Sun Salutation B. Surya Namaskar B. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Lots of breath. Inhale and exhale for every movement. Just really increasing our circulation in the body. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Reach tall. Exhale, sit into the heels. Utkatasana. Breathe in. And as we exhale, tip from your hips and fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, step right foot back, then left, and we're right into our high plank. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog, little squeeze of the butt. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's step your left foot forward. Right foot turns out. Inhale and rise, and come right up into Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders drawing down the back into your back pockets. And let's breathe. Now your eyes focus out ahead in front of your front hand. Front knee is over the ankle. Think about your front heel in line with the arch of the back foot. Breathe. Breathe in. Exhale, sink a little deeper. If you know Ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding breath, you can use that here. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach long. And then revolve the arms into triangle, Trikonasana. You can come high or you can come low. Think of the lower ribs coming around, reaching high, opening your heart, opening your hips, squeezing those inner thighs together. Stay with your breath. Inhale, let that hand come down. And we're just going to fold over the front leg. If this is too much, you can come up a little higher here or use blocks here to hold. Stay with your breath. Pyramid pose. And then coming up with the chest. If you want a little more, we can open up here to the back. Little twist for the spine. Let that hand come down. Square off the hips, lift your back heel. Footsteps back, we're right back into plank. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, rise and shine, open up the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, right foot springs up to right hand, left foot turns out, come on up into Virabhadrasana 2. Front knee is right over the ankle, settling in with the breath. Eye gaze, focus out in front. Let's engage the breath. Encourage the breath. Think of that ridge of the back foot and press that firmly into the earth to engage your back leg. Straighten front leg, inhale. As we exhale, reach forward and revolve. And we're going into triangle, high or low. Your choice. Think of the lower ribs coming around, squeezing those inner thighs together. Trikonasana, triangle, also known as three-angle pose. 3 triangles. Feet to your groin, hand, armpit to the foot, and then an imaginary triangle from both feet to your top hand. Let that hand come down, lift your back heel, come back into your plank, forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, rise and shine, open the heart center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or jump your feet up to your hands, into fold. Sit into your heels and come right into Utkatasana. Breathe in, push the feet and rise, lengthen spine. Exhale, hands to side. Let's do that again with breath. Breathe and go. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Step or jump your feet back into plank. Forward and down, lower yourself halfway. Inhale, open your heart center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot springs up, right foot turns out. Inhale and rise into Virabhadrasana 2. Now, how are you feeling? Can you feel the heat, the tapas? Can you feel the energy and the circulation in your body? Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward. And just revolve your arms right into your triangle. Reaching tall. That front leg is fairly straight. Maybe a gentle bend in the knee. Core is strong here. Really opening through your heart center, opening the hips, opening shoulders. Let that hand come down and folding over that front leg. You can come high or low here. If you want to come a little higher, feel free to come up. Your choice. Stay with your breath. Coming up with the chest, perhaps opening up with the back hand, little twist. Let that hand come down. Square off your hips, lift your heel, footsteps back into plank, forward and down, lower yourself halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, right foot springs up, left foot turns out, come back up, right into our Virabhadrasana 2. Open your toes. Sinking a little deeper into those hips, starting to feel the heat. Stay with your breath. Focus and concentrate. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach long and revolve the arms. We can come high here or low, your choice. Trikonasana. Beautiful opening pose. Stay with your breath. Let your hand come down. Square your hips and just fold over that front leg. Relax the neck and shoulders. Keeping that front leg fairly straight here, getting that beautiful stretch to the hamstring. Coming up with the chest, back hand rises and reach. Stay with the breath. Let that hand come down. Square off your hips, back heel lifts, come back into your high plank. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or jump your feet up towards your hands. Come into forward fold. Push to the feet and rise. Salute the sun. Exhale, hands into your side in Tadasana. Beautiful. I hope that you've warmed up a little bit. We're going to move right into balance. This is really about our grounding today. I want you to think of drawing the earth energy up and lifting your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. So we're going to start with weight in the right leg. The left foot can come to the ankle, calf, or upper thigh. Hands come into your heart center. Vrikshasana, tree pose. keeping your focus. Find a place where you can find your focus to keep your stillness. Point of concentration, your drishti. Lifting up earth energy. And letting hands rise and reach out. Opening your heart center, sending your energy to the universe. Let's step your foot out and come right into goddess pose. So your knees are out over the toes and the elbows are bent and drawing back a little, really opening through your heart center here. You can come high or low, your choice, and breathe. Lift your pelvic floor. Mula Bandha. Drawing up that earth energy here. And let's tip forward. Walk your hands over to the left side. Toes are turned out. Hips can be high or drop them low. Flex your foot and hand can come into your heart or keep your hands down. Whatever feels best for you. Hands down, let's walk your hands over to the other side. Same thing, knees out over the toes. High here or come lower, let the hips drop. Hands into your heart. Getting a nice hamstring stretch here as your foot is flexed. Hands come down, come back to center. Walk your feet in so they're a little more than hip distance apart. And we're going to settle right into squat. Beautiful hip opener here. A little bit of balance. If this is too much, come higher. Or if you want a little bit less, come lower and come into wide leg child's pose. A little more passive if you need that today. I want you to go where it feels good for your body. Just breathe and allow. Let your right hand come down, left hand comes up, looking over left shoulder. Let that hand come down, elbow into the knee, right hand reaches up. Hands come into your heart. Beautiful stretch here through the groin, opening up the back. Working through the feet and ankles. Gently push into the feet and rise. Let's come back up to Tadasana. A little bit more balance. Again, I want you to focus your attention somewhere in front of you. Bring your weight into the right foot, bend your standing leg, and let the left foot come across. The knees bent, or it can come up over the knee, foot flexed. Hands reach up. And as we exhale, we'll sit into that standing leg. If you want more, let the hands gently float down towards the earth. Or you can stay high, it's your choice. Keep your focus with your eyes. Beautiful balance with hips here. Inhale and slowly rise. All the way up and gently let that foot come back down to the side. Let's switch legs. Weight comes into your left foot, the right foot comes across. You can come up over the knee, flex your foot. Inhale, let the hands rise. Exhale, bend your leg and sit in. You can stay high here. If you want more, keep lowering the hands, bending the knees. Perhaps the fingers can come to the floor. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just dangle here. And just find your space. Keeping your focus, finding your breath, finding your stillness. Stay present. Inhale and rise. All the way up, and let that foot come back to Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's come to the top of your mat. Tadasana, breathe in, hands rise. Exhale, tip from your hips and forward fold all the way down. Inhale, let your right foot step back, then the left, and come into your downward facing dog. We'll start with the right foot. Right foot rises, bend your knee, and let your heel come towards your left shoulder. This is three-legged dog with opening hips. So I want you to spread your fingers here and put some weight into those hands so that we can get some weight into those arms and strength. Inhale up on the toes, let that foot come across, and let your leg drape back with the knee and toe on the floor. If you like, you can use a block here. They can be very handy in pigeon pose. You can tuck underneath the hip here for support. If anything's bothering you in there, this can be very helpful. You could also use a block for your head. Make sure you flex your foot to protect your knee here and square your hips off. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and just slowly let yourself come down here. And if your head can't come all the way down to the earth, perhaps just bring it on the block. So as we are here, I want you to feel really grounded, right? I want the earth to really support you here so that you can let go. Breathe in through the nose, let the breath travel down in front of the spine and fill your belly. Let the belly rise with breath. And as you exhale, belly comes down, breath travels back up in front of the spine and back up through the nose. So this is one of those poses where your body may talk to you, right? Where you may feel a little uncomfortable, and it's quite normal. And so what I'd like you to do is try to get through that uncomfortableness by just focusing on your breath. If you have sharp pain in your hips, knees, ankles, shoulders, you need to move to get out of that pain. But if you're a little uncomfortable, you're right where you need to be. It's important to let yourself come out of your comfort zone at least once a day. It allows your body to grow. Now, as we're here, are your hip bones parallel to the floor? If you feel like you're tipping in on one side, I want you to square your hips off so your back is nice and straight in this pose. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Nice deep belly breaths, focusing on that exhale and finding release. Beautiful. Let's just walk the hands in. Let your heel come into your left hip socket. Bend the left leg. Find the inside of your foot and draw your heel towards your buttocks. Right? And get a nice quadricep stretch. Now, if this is too much for you and your hips, maybe sit on that right sit bone or lie on your side. Lots of options for this one. Beautiful quadricep stretch, opening up hip flexors, psoas. Opening up lower back here. Just breathe. Release your foot, tuck the toe under. Lift the hips high and push back to downward facing dog. This time we're going to let the left foot rise, bend the knee, and let the heel come towards your right hip. Opening hip, squaring the shoulders and hips off here. Come up on the toes, let that foot come across over to the right side on that diagonal, and let the right leg lengthen out. If you want, you can use a block for your left hip here. Keep your foot flexed. Breathe in. As we exhale, slowly lower yourself down and find your space. This is your time to really get into your fascia, your deep connective tissue that surrounds your hips. I like to think of fascia as a corset for the body. It's all through the body. It intertwines in the muscles and bones. It actually holds the muscles to the bones. And when we're young, they're very hydrated, pliable. And as we get older, or when we get sick, or when we're injured, they become dehydrated. They start to shorten, right? And what that means is you're going to have restricted mobility, especially in the hips, and maybe a little bit of soreness. So as we breathe here, just trying to open up that fascia a little bit to see if we can find some space. Find more range of motion, more movement in those hips. Let's do 3 more deep belly breaths here. Gently make your hands come in towards your body. Bring your heel into your right hip socket. Bend your right leg this time. Find the inside of that right foot and draw it towards your buttock. Sit on the left sit bone, right, if that's better for you, or lie on your side. And let's get that beautiful stretch in the quadricep muscle. Deep stretch here. Breathe into the space, right down into those hips. See if we can get some release. Release that foot. Let's come into a seated position and let the legs bend out to the side. We're going to go right into turtle pose. The first part of turtle pose, we come forward. So if you want to get the hips a little bit higher, it might be easier to tip from your hips to come forward. A little more flex. It may give you more flexibility to dive in. Okay? This is a beautiful hip asana. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale, we'll fold from the hips, hands come forward, and let's just settle in here. I don't want you pushing yourself downwards. I don't want you to force anything. Just find your natural edge, your space. If you're feeling up to it today, let the hands come behind your heels. Let the elbows soften, relax your fingers, and chest comes forward a little bit more. Opening chest and hips. Settling in with the breath. This is all about the breath here. Into the belly, ribs, lower back. What can you let go of right here, right now? Two more breaths. Long exhale. Soften your shoulders. Let your hands come in and gently walk yourself out. Let your legs come in. A little bit of core work here, going into boat pose, Navasana. So touch the toes down, lift your heels, and tip back and lengthen your spine, hands around the hamstrings. Right foot can lift, maybe both feet lift. Start to extend those legs or keep them bent, your choice. Core is on, release your hands and look up over the toes. Lengthen your spine and breathe. This is all about the core. If your legs start to shake, that's all good. That's strengthening your nervous system, right? breathe. Good work. Bend your knees. Bring your heels in towards your buttocks. Hands wrap around the shins. Bring your belly into your thighs and lengthen spine. Beautiful. Let's come up onto the hands and knees. We're going to go right into cow face pose. So I'd like you to start with the right knee in the center. The left leg comes across. Feet come wide. And we're going to sit back into those sit bones. The outside of the feet come to the mat. Okay? If this is too much for your knees or hips, I'd just like you to extend your right leg and just let the left leg cross over. This is half cow face pose. So this is again one of those poses that may be a little uncomfortable. It's quite normal. So try to breathe into spaces that are just holding on a little bit here. Maybe your hands can come to the bottoms of the feet. And I love this particular posture because it connects the energy within our body, right? It completes the circuit. If this isn't good, you want to put your hands in front to support you, feel free to do that. Breathe in and lengthen your spine. As we exhale, we're just going to fold over the legs, just to encourage the hips to open just maybe a little more. Again, not forcing yourself downward here, just finding your space and seeing what your breath will give you. Stay and breathe. This is one of those poses where it may not be easy to let go, so a lot of concentration here with your breath. Inhale and rise. Let's release the bottom leg. Keep your foot flexed. That just starts to open up those hamstrings. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Soften and allow. So this is still opening hips, but working hamstrings as well. You may feel some work in your lower back. And just breathe and soften. Inhale and rise. Uncross your legs. Let's switch to the other side. This time your left leg comes to center. Your right knee comes across in front. Your feet come wide. And we sit back into those sit bones. Again, if this is not good for you, feel free to extend out your left leg. Find your sit bones, settle in, hands to the bottoms of the feet or forward. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and fold forward. So just notice if this side feels any difference or if it feels exactly the same. In yoga, the lovely thing about yoga is when we take some time to explore, we find where we have imbalances in our body and where we may need to work. Maybe soften your head and neck, your jaw, your shoulders, and just breathe. 3 more deep belly breaths here. Inhale and slowly rise. Gently let that bottom leg extend out. Flex your foot. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and soften as we fold forward. Seeing what we can let go of here. Starting to draw your awareness inwards, noticing how your body feels in this moment. Notice your mood. Notice your mind. If your mind starts to wander, bring it back to the breath over and over again. 3 more breaths here. Inhale and gently rise. I'd like you to let that leg come out in front, hands come behind your back, wrists are under the shoulders, Mula Bandha, lift your pelvic floor, squeeze your butt. If you want to bend a leg here, feel free. We're going to lift the hips, inhale and rise, look up, lift the hips, wrists are under the shoulders, squeeze your butt as you push the hips high, and gently let your hips float down. Let's gently roll ourselves back. Bringing your knees into the chest, hands out to the side. Inhale. As we exhale, let both knees come to the right. Feel free to use your blocks here or a pillow to put underneath your knees if they can't come to the floor, if they're just hovering there. Or if your back's a little stiff today, a block between your thighs can also be handy. Relax the shoulders, palms are up. Inhale, and as we exhale, let your head look away from the bent legs. And as we work in through the cervical spine, engaging the thyroid gland, and just starting to stimulate your metabolism. So this beautiful spinal twist is realigning the spine. If you want more, take your hand to the top leg and draw it towards your chest. Inhale, come back to center. As we exhale, both knees to the opposite side. Lift your head and look down your outstretched arm. If you want, you can grab that top leg and draw it towards your chest. This is all about you. Staying with the breath. Just noticing. Inhale and coming back to center. Let's extend the legs out and we're going to go right into Shavasana. Hands at the side, palms up, feet outstretched with the toes splaying out. If your back is a little sore today, feel free to bend your knees together, feet apart, drawing the belly in to support. Or lie on your side in your fetal position. I want you to go where it feels good for you. So let's come to your breath. Breathing into the nose, let the breath travel down in front of the spine and fill your belly, letting the belly rise. As you exhale, belly comes down, breath travels back up in front of the spine and back out through the nose. And as we breathe here, just filling the belly, ribs and lower back, starting to really let go, soften, allow. I'd like to share with you meditation by Buddha called Loving Kindness. May I be well. May I be happy and content. May I be free from pain and suffering. May I be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be happy and content. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy and content. May all beings be free from pain and suffering. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. Letting your breath explore your body now, finding any place that has any stiffness, any soreness. Send all your attention with your breath to that area of your body to see if you can let it go. Where your attention goes, prana flows, life energy. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw one leg into the chest, followed by the other. And let your arms wrap around your legs. Give yourself a nice big hug. Let the knees circle around. Little massage for your back. Let your knees circle in the opposite direction. When you are ready, roll up to a seated position. Just take your time finding your way there. It's been my pleasure to bring this beautiful practice to you today on the hips. I'm hoping that the hips are going to feel a little looser for you today and you'll be a little bit mobile, more mobile. Let's bring our hands into heart center. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace be with you. Peace be with your family and your friends. Peace be with all that surrounds you. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thanks for joining.